Hey there, my name is Heather Dugar. I am the WESCO Key Account Manager here at MacLean Power Systems. I am here today with our very own King of Cross Arms, Philip Rollins, and we are here today to talk to you about our UV Max Crossarm line. The UV Max Crossarm line is the industry leading standard in durability and has the longest lasting lifespan of any product in its category. And there's a lot of elements that contribute to that. So the first thing I wanted to talk about today, Philip, was the Duraforce composite design. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Absolutely. Thank you, Heather. Our Duraforce composite design combines a high stiffness, high strength resin system integrated into a fiberglass structure to maximize the performance of the overall assembly. When you increase the overall stiffness of your resin system, you're increasing the total load capacity of the arm itself. Over the lifespan of the arm, you're going to see less deflection, less sagging for the lines, and an overall increase in longevity for the arm itself as it's less prone to things such as fatigue.
So our Duralock end caps, what's unique about them and what is different from the standard attachment process?
So with the Duralock end caps, we're not just relying on traditional bonding techniques for the end caps, such as bonding to the foam or using an adhesive bond, which both can be subject to loss of adhesion due to impact. We're actually mechanically fastening the end cap into the inner walls of the crossarm itself to guarantee maximum attachment ability to ensure that we have the highest quality and consistency for this particular aspect of the product that we can produce.
Okay, and that's unique to MacLean.
Absolutely. This was one of the first patents that we were actually able to apply to crossarms. Crossarms are pretty generic,
Right.
so we're pretty proud of some unique ideas that we're able to introduce into the industry.
So our Duracore beam is made using a different process as opposed to regular coated systems. So can you tell us a little bit about Duracore and what the advantages of that are?
Right. The Duracore system is how we add UV protection to our fiberglass crossarms. UV protection is very critical in terms of longevity. So with wood crossarms, the end of life typically looks like a fatigue case. The arms have dry rotted a little
Right.
bit, lost some mechanical strength, and failed prematurely.
Right.
The end of a fiberglass crossarm's life is what's called fiber bloom. Basically, the sun has beaten down on the fiberglass to the point where you've got fiberglass exposure on the surface.
Right.
That's not to say that the fiberglass is any weaker because of the exposure of fiberglass, but it's a handling issue. Any lineman servicing the
Right.
pole is not going to want to interact with something that's prickly or may give them fiberglass splinters,
Sure,
right?
sure.
So we consider that to be end of life. And so what we've done with our Duracore system is we've integrated UV protection all the way through the thickness of the fiberglass. This starts with using a UV stabilized polyester resin to ensure that we've got a really great starting place for our UV protection system. Polyester is one of the most UV robust resin systems out there, which is why they make t-shirts out of it.
Right.
It can take a beating from the sun,
Right.
right? So we're adding to that a very high grade UV stabilizer. Now, UV stabilizer is maybe not the best description for that. What they actually are is UV absorbers.
Okay.
UV absorbers, basically what happens is those molecules dispersed all throughout the resin system and therefore all throughout the crossarm are absorbing the majority of that UV spectrum wavelength light so that it doesn't affect the polyester as much.
Okay.
And these, in combination with our third system, our veil layer, which is a UV reflective veil layer, so it's bouncing off the arm a lot of the UV light before it ever gets to the fiberglass portion. It adds an artificial thickened layer to the surface of that arm to make sure that we have maximum longevity. We're using a very particular veil here that will allow us to have not only the thickest UV protective layer in the industry, more than 7 times the next closest layer,
Nice.
but also we are maximizing the UV reflective nature of it. It's what's called a non-apertured veil, which basically means there are 0 gaps
Okay.
in between the threads that allows light through to penetrate to the layers underneath.
Okay. And so this type of system eliminates the need for painting?
Absolutely. With painted systems, typically you're dealing with a non UV stable resin system. So even if you're adding UV stabilizers to that, if you're adding a veil to that, because you're not starting with a great starting point,
Right.
you're going to need to put a top coat on that, which has the potential to either scratch or chip off.
Right.
With the Duracore system, because it's integrated through the entire thickness of the layer, top coats become unnecessary and you don't have any potential for those types of defects in this system.
Perfect. This is my favorite one. I'm super excited about this DuraShield. Now, this is huge in fire mitigation. So, can you tell us how this came about and why it's so important?
So the DuraShield is a very recent upgrade to the UV Max system. And what that does is it provides the maximum fire resistance capable for this class of product. So for reinforced polymers, it has the highest rating on the UL94 test, which is a standard in the industry to gauge how fire resistant something is. So the V0 rating means that it is self-extinguishing, that it does not propagate any flames. Basically, flames stop dead in their tracks, and
Right.
that's flames from either a brush fire, wildfire type situation, or it could just be thermal damage from an electrical event.
Right.
Tracking damage
Right.
also is mitigated by this system.
In addition to all of these features, our fiberglass crossarms in general are also stronger, safer, lighter, and more environmentally friendly than wood crossarms. Is that correct?
Yes, absolutely. With the wood cross arm, typically to improve strength or stiffness of the pole, you just put more wood cross arms up there. We have a real advantage with our fiberglass cross arms that we can just thicken the wall up a little bit and increase the load rating. This has allowed us to reduce the overall weight of an assembly by up to 80%,
Awesome.
depending on the assembly.
To complement our world-class fiberglass crossarms, we also offer a best-in-class mounting hardware system, Duracast. Is that correct?
Yes, we are one of the few that are doing casting center mounts, what we call bases, in the production facility. These center mounts are free of any sharp edges and are specifically designed to help distribute the stress under high deflection. This has allowed us to minimize the weight, especially for our aluminum center mounts, as well as maximize the performance capability of the arm. We don't want the hardware to be a weak spot. We want to get the maximum
Right.
performance out of that fiberglass.
So, if anyone wanted to find out more about our UV Max crossarms, where can they look?
Well, we've got a great landing site at our website, MacLeanPower.com. We've got a number of pages dedicated directly to our fiberglass crossarms there.
All right, great. Well, there you have it, guys. So if you want to find out some more information, visit our website at www.macleanpower.com/UVMax. That's UVMAXX. Or you can reach out to your local MPS representative. So until next time.